So it's the summer now, and maybe this time around you don't want to waste it scrolling on TikTok and playing video games. So maybe you've decided that you're going to start working towards your goals and do some deep work. And once you have everything sorted on what your goals are and what you want to work on, a small problem may come up, or a big problem. And that problem is you just can't focus. No matter how hard you try, you just get distracted. Maybe it's your environment. Maybe you have your phone on your desk. You're getting notifications. The main problem and reason you can't focus is that you lack mental clarity. Mental clarity is heavily related to what I talked about in my last video, mindfulness. Mindfulness is a skill, but I would say mental clarity is more of a state of mind. When you have mental clarity, you can recognize, understand, and organize your thoughts. So how do we increase our mental clarity? The real change in our lives comes from our thoughts, which then influences our habits. So when I think about the real ways that I increase my mental clarity, I think about several key habits that I did every single day that push my mental clarity up and up and up and up. Habit number 1, don't consume too much content. So, if you're watching this video, you probably watch a lot of self-improvement videos. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I think it's actually a great thing to start to let that inspiration fester inside your brain and eventually lead you to taking action. But in terms of when you want to get work done, it's best not to consume content around that time. Even some books, but in general, social media, all that kind of stuff that you already know is bad. And when you do that near work, even if it's positive, what happens is you get thoughts racing in your head. Even if they're good thoughts, they're thoughts about, oh, how can I improve my workout routine? Oh, how can I improve my diet? How can I wake up earlier? Things like that. It's still distracting you from your work. So if you've looked into deep work at all, it's really important that when you go into a deep work session, that you're able to get into that flow state. And whatever is taking you away from that is something you don't want to do around the time you're working. The best time to work is in the morning because you can just wake up, go straight into it, no thoughts. 100% focus. And that's the best time to do it. So habit number 1, don't consume too much content when you're about to do your work. Another point to add on to that habit is you have to be mindful about where you're putting your attention, the different places you're putting your attention throughout your day, because all of that is going to seep you of your focus, because you really only have so much ability to pay attention to things per day. So another reason why it's hard to work is because you're working after school, and it's unfortunate because it's good now because it's summer vacation, at least for me. But after school, it's really hard to focus because you've been sitting in class all day trying to pay attention, and it's pretty mentally exhausting. So try to be mindful about where you're putting your attention and don't consume too much content. Habit number 2. So a lot of you are not going to like this one, but it's meditate. So you've probably heard about meditation. Actually, you've definitely heard about it. I don't think there's anybody watching this video who hasn't. And it's an amazing, really powerful habit that a lot of people neglect just out of annoyance. People hear it all the time and they get pissed off because it's so annoying to hear about it. And everybody sounds like a broken record. Every self-improvement YouTuber does. But the reality is it's an extremely powerful habit. And it's not for the reasons you may think. People have misconceptions about meditation, that it's used to calm you or to relax you. But the reality is it helps your mindfulness. And if you haven't meditated, I talk about this in my last video. Basically, it improves your attention span just because you could say it's like a boring, understimulating activity. You're just sitting with your eyes closed for an extended period of time. But actually, the way it helps you focus isn't just attention span. It unlocks an ability that makes you realize when you are unfocused much quicker, and it builds up your ability to bring your focus back to what you are trying to focus on. So that's the reason why meditation is great for mental clarity and focus. And for personal experience, when I meditate first thing in the morning, my mental clarity and focus is so much better, miles better than when I don't. So habit number 2, meditate. All right. The third habit, this one is really powerful. If you have a good baseline mental clarity and attention span, focus level, this habit is going to take yours to the next level. This is deep journaling and brain dump. So deep journaling and brain dump are both extremely powerful methods of journaling. The difference between these two is that when you're deep journaling, you're picking one topic or one problem, situation, emotion, whatever, feeling. You're picking that one thing and then writing about it for 30 to 45 minutes. This is really good if you have a problem in your life that you need to sort out. And you can just untangle that in the notebook for 45 minutes, and it's extremely helpful. If your brain is stuck on something, then deep journaling is the way to go. So say you have a particular conflict in your mind. For example, maybe you're getting picked on at school. Maybe your teacher's mad at you and you're worried about getting a detention, whatever. It's a good idea to do a deep journal session about that and kind of untangle the situation and how you feel about it in whole, and maybe even plan what you plan to do about it. But what's really important is that you focus on one topic throughout the whole session and you just untangle it and eventually reach this flow state where you don't even realize that you're writing, and you almost have so many thoughts running through your brain that you're trying to write faster to catch up. So brain dump is a similar method of journaling, where instead of picking a topic, you just write down everything that comes to mind. This you can do more consistently because you're not always going to have a particular nagging thought or feeling on your mind that's been bothering you or that's been affecting your focus. So, and also you don't have to pick a prompt or any of that kind of stuff. So, this is the one I personally do most of the time. I just sit down, set like a 30-minute timer, and just write down everything that comes to mind. And most of the time, I get into a flow state where I just keep on writing by like 5 minutes. And the first 5 minutes I usually spend like staring at a wall and then just writing down things here and there. And these are extremely powerful just to get everything out of your mind, all those racing, distracting thoughts. And it improves your mental clarity by a long shot. Habit number 4, hit the gym. There's really something therapeutic about just putting on some music in your headphones, taking a concerning amount of caffeine, and then just going ham in the gym. It's just putting all your maximum physical effort into something. Something I've found is that if I'm in a bad mood, I'm stuck mentally, I have brain fog, it's usually sorted out by the end of my workout. I don't know the science or the magic behind it, but just whenever I'm stuck mentally, it helps a lot to go to the gym. So habit number 4, go to the gym, lift some weights. Cardio is actually really helpful for mental clarity. Just because you have that time it's a combination of the time to think, the lack of distraction, the battle with your mind to persist, and the endorphins. Just a combination of those things just really boosts your mental clarity. And the last habit that I'm going to talk about, habit number 5, cutting out overstimulation. If you've researched about monk mode, this super young millionaire guy, Iman Gadzhi, invented this protocol called monk mode. It's a time period where you just completely lock in and cut out all your bad habits and have a couple baseline good habits that you do every day. But in monk mode, I'm not sure if Iman Gadzhi invented this, but there's a strategy called the basic attack. In a video game, a basic attack is basically the default attack that you use in pretty much every situation. So it'll just, in boxing, it would be the jab. This is your jab. Right now, your basic attack is probably your bad habits. Watching YouTube, watching movies, scrolling on social media. And these habits are overstimulating. And that's most of the reason, along with a waste of time, why they're bad for you. They spike your dopamine. This spike of dopamine results in a drop below baseline, which results in depression and low motivation. The best thing to do is to switch your basic attack to something not as overstimulating. For example, even though a book is consuming content, and if it's a really entertaining book, you might be thinking about it and it will cause some distraction. It is still less stimulating than other bad habits. And I'm sure we all know that reading books is good for you. That's just a really common trope in a lot of self-improvement content. So, pick a basic attack that is less stimulating. A good one to do, if you're not much of a reader, a good one to start out with is watching full-length podcasts or less stimulating YouTube videos. Instead of the YouTube shorts or summaries, you watch the whole podcast. So that's a good thing to do because it's less stimulating, and also you get more of a consolidated whole piece of knowledge that you can maybe even open up a document and take notes on, and it can help you with. So that's turning a bad habit, which is watching YouTube, into a productive habit by watching good positive content and long-form understimulating content. So, changing your basic attack to a non-overstimulating medium is important for mental clarity. So, in conclusion, your ability to focus is an important skill that will make your work so much more valuable and productive. And it will allow you to make progress on your goals so much faster. This summer, I suggest you try these habits and let me know in the comments how it benefits you, or if you have any questions,